What did the Romans put their sewing thread on? Today, if you want a spool of thread, you go get a spool of thread. But what did the Romans use for spools? Well, it might not have actually been that different. At the Roman fort of Newstead in the UK, there is a little bobbin. It looks very much like bobbins today. And presumably thread was kept on this. I would like one of those someday, but I am not a wood turner, so I had to come up with something different. And what I came up with was this. This is based on a shuttle or something of the sort from late antique, or actually rather Byzantine, even though I don't like to use the word, but Byzantine Egypt. So I think the original is the 7th century. And I downsized it a bit because I need to put sewing thread rather than weaving yarn on it. And I made a couple. So I have a couple different options of linen thread currently wrapped up here for my little Roman sewing kit. And I also have, I've got 2 more that don't have anything on them yet, which I'm going to put some wool thread on them because, believe it or not, a lot of Roman clothing was made with woolen rather than linen thread. And that's not really something that a lot of reenactors, myself included, actually do very often. The one exception of something that I've made is actually this little wrapper and pouch that I made to put my sewing stuff in. It is entirely sewn with woolen thread. So anyway, that's kind of gets into the interesting question of what do you do when you need to do something because you're a reenactor or a living historian that the Romans also would have had to do, but archaeology doesn't necessarily hold a great answer for it, and you have to get a little creative. And the key to that creativity is keeping it within the bounds of the way that historical people solved problems and thought about solving problems. So the more steeped you are in the archaeology and the history and the culture of a period, the better your guesses essentially at that reconstruction will be, which is why it's so incredibly important to do a lot of study. So Roman thread winders, my edition, my version of it. Cheers.